So hey, how's it going? Today, I want to go live to talk about two lessons I learned from when I was hosting marketing workshops. If you want a deeper dive, if you are a coach, consultant, and or a course creator, or if you do credit repair and you would like to take advantage of a free marketing optimization call whereby we identify the one thing that you can do to add an additional five to $10,000 to your monthly income, then just go over to vladimirdonis.com and schedule a free marketing optimization call for coaches, consultants, course creators, and credit repair. So the two lessons that I learned when I was doing, marketing workshops, it started off with me doing these marketing workshops because I had a dating site and the dating site was no longer around, but I had learned some things when I was promoting or marketing my dating site. So since I no longer had the dating site, I had to pivot. And the thing that I decided I was going to pivot to is to start to share what I had learned with other individuals. So I remember hosting my first marketing workshops and inviting people over. And my call to action essentially was, hey, come to this marketing workshops and I'm going to show you some things, right? So that was the generality. I'm going to show you some things that's going to help you to promote and or market your business. So then what happened is when individuals came, I gave people the opportunity to ask me some questions. And the other thing that I said to people was that if you ask me a question about something and I don't know it, my promise is in the next 2 weeks, I'll go and learn about the thing so that way the next time you come, I can go ahead and teach it to you. So I remember, people asking me questions about search engine optimization, how to optimize WordPress websites, and I would then go and try to consume that information and try and share that information back with them. So that was a huge issue, and the huge issue is sometimes people don't know what they don't know. Oftentimes, people are coming to you and asking you for questions, and people are asking you for guidance, and people are trying to solve a problem that they really don't even need to solve because from a prerequisite standpoint, there are other issues that they need to solve and they may be solving the wrong problem. So I didn't know that at the time. And what I was doing is I was just kind of just following that whole rabbit hole of I'm going to teach you whatever I can about marketing. And if I don't know it, I'm going to, teach it to you. Instead, what I do now is I go in with already a framework. I go in with a framework. I go in with a process and I say, hey, if you are this type of individual and you're trying to obtain this type of result, these are the steps that you need to go through. Regardless of what you think you need to do, right? I don't necessarily care about what you think you need to do because I'm coming in as the expert and I'm telling you this is what you need to do. So perhaps, if you need to take that same approach as well, because that's the approach that I started taking. And when I started to take that approach, right, things were a lot more differently. We didn't have, I don't know, if I had a class of say 5 or 10 people in one of my workshops, I wasn't trying to teach one person search engine optimization and then the other person pay-per-click marketing and the other person blogging, the other person video content. I was kind of like all over the place, and that didn't make for a good experience for the individuals that were in my class. So, that's the one change that I made, and that's one of the lessons that I learned. The other lesson that I learned is that from a company standpoint, at that time, one of the group of businesses I was attracting people who were in network marketing. So sometimes someone is in a network marketing type of a business, but then again, they may decide that the first company that they were with doesn't necessarily fulfill some of their needs and or some of their desires, and then they decide to go to a different company. Well, what I noticed sometimes is that some people would promote and market the company. And then when they leave that company, now they have to start promoting and marketing a completely different company and thereby losing all of the momentum they may have gained from promoting the first company. Instead, what an individual should do is an individual should talk about the category and or the pain point. Because let's just say that you are in credit repair. Well, from a credit repair standpoint, there are certain problems that you're trying to solve. And if you talk about the category, you keep it general. You don't necessarily talk about the company, and you talk about the pain point, and you talk about some of the ways that you can help people to solve their problem without letting them know the company that you're working with. That is a much better approach. And that lesson hit home for me because back then, back in 2015 or so, I was running a dating site, right? I was running a dating site, but what I learned from some of these individuals that I was watching is not to necessarily say the name or talk about the company itself as a dating site. Instead, what I did is I talked about the problem. Hey, are you an individual that is trying to connect with a male? Here are some of the things that you can do to connect with the male on the dance floor. Are you trying to connect with the female on the dance floor? Here's some of the things that you can do to connect with the female on the dance floor. And guess what happened? What happened is that well beyond after the time I no longer had that company, I had to close that company down, I was still getting leads because the category dating is still around. Dating is something that's not going to go away, and I'm not necessarily tied to that company because I was talking about the problem and I was talking about the pain points of the customer as opposed to saying, hey, here's my company, here's my company, and so on and so forth. So that's the other lesson that I learned, as well, that I wanted to come on live and kind of just pass those two things, on to you so that way you don't necessarily make those same mistakes. Pound live if you happen to be catching this live. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Pound replay if you happen to be catching me via the replay. That's it. That's all I have for you for now. I'll talk to you soon.